Of course, the goal of any trader is to reach the point where they become consistently profitable in the market. However, this does not happen overnight. In fact, it takes some people many years to achieve this level, and unfortunately, some will never achieve it. Today, I will tell you what personality traits lead to stability in the market. I will also share my trading methodology. Let's make today more productive. Let's go. Well then, let's demonstrate the basics of technical analysis, and we'll start with this chart. Currently, the market is in a bearish trend. This is evident from the strong decline in prices. Here there was a sharp drop, then consolidation began, which transitions into a break in the movement structure. But since there is a resistance level, it is difficult for the price to change its direction easily. And so, as it has stalled now, the lower pressure zone, which is also support, has become active again. For us, it's an area of interest for market participants who will push the candles to test it. First short trade, friends. Let's go. If the trend previously couldn't break the upper level, breaking it or returning to it a second time is a more challenging task for the price. Moreover, the overall trend, as I mentioned, is bearish and declining, which also affects the price, making it difficult to move upwards. So a short contract will work perfectly in this situation. Today I'm doing a boost without indicators. I'll show you techniques on how you can earn without signals, relying only on candlestick patterns. I think it will be an interesting trading session. This is my countless attempt at boosting. I'm a bit tired, but I continue. I don't give up, never give up, friends. So let's get to our topic. Among good traders, there are some similarities that can be highlighted and analyzed. And now I will tell you about the key concepts that can help you achieve, let's say, stability in the market. So where did I put everything again? Okay, everything's back. Aha, excellent. So it's volatile, but my trade is in profit, 59 cents. I'm earning from it. So let's begin. The very first element for achieving consistency in trading, friends, is to study a proven methodology and adhere to it impeccably, so to speak. You can study a multitude of different methods of market analysis. Some of them will be based on technical analysis, others on fundamental, statistical, or possibly even market sentiment analysis. I'll open another trade now, this time going short. Everything changes quickly. I'll tell you about it a bit later. Look, you can see that market participants seem to be preparing for an upward breakout. Essentially, they are building up positions. This can be understood by how the wedge is forming, this particular pattern. This is also confirmed by the long shadow under the previous candle. To develop your own concept of smart trading, you first need to get acquainted with as many different market techniques as possible, so that you can understand which trading style best suits your skills and temperament. Once you narrow down your style, which best matches your psychology, you will need to thoroughly dive deeply into this particular strategy in order to learn absolutely everything comprehensively related to it. It's not that everything is going smoothly now and there's a confident upward trend, but it turns out that this is enough to earn within a 1-minute interval. Yes, friends, my strategy is based on determining the range of movement specifically within a time interval, specifically in the minute time frame. The main skill here is the ability to quickly orient yourself in the situation. Observational skills and understanding what is happening with the candle at the moment are very important. That is, you need to strictly monitor how the candles are behaving at the present moment. I'll open a short position. Look, here's why. In this part, a resistance level forms between the transition of long candles, from which even a slight reaction can be expected, downward. This will be our reason to open a trade, hopefully for profit. To deeply immerse yourself in the strategy and study everything possible, you need to make it a habit. To read all the relevant books by authorities in this field, attend courses and participate in training sessions as needed. The fact is, no matter what trading strategy you choose, ultimately, your goal should be to become a master in it, to master this technique. At present, in our current times, so to speak, one of the biggest problems is the lack of patience among people. Because people quickly, so to speak, jump off, yes, from their goal and achieve nothing. Lack of patience. In general, at the first signs of a problem, for example, during some drawdown, these people, these traders, may stop using their chosen trading strategy and start looking for another asset method altogether. This, of course, all leads to a futile search, friends. I think it's clear here a strong reaction is forming from the support level, which repels the candles with strong dynamics. So that's how it is, guys. That's how it is. Size matters too, because look, the previous downtrend is not strong enough. For example, on another currency pair that I traded recently, the main misconception is that a trader must trade frequently and always have a position to make a good profit in the market. This is far from the truth. What matters is not the number of trades you make, but their quality. Most people know from experience what trading setups are the best. They suit them in terms of providing the best risk-reward profile. Thus, isolating this part is not so difficult for many. For many who have been trading for at least some time. So, what do we have with the trade again? Today, trading without an indicator is really tough for me. In general, the problem arises, yes, plus. The problem arises when you sit idle for some time due to a lack of market opportunities. It is during this time that we become most vulnerable in terms of trading. Never, that is, when there haven't been many trades, we tend to lower our standards and enter trades that usually don't yield any profit at all. And that's just a huge mistake. I'll work another short on this currency pair. I see the formation of shadows above the green candles. It's starting to form quite densely. And so, as we previously see that the red candles are not smaller than the green ones, we can expect that the market, for some time, will move sideways. So we need to adhere to those impulses that compel us to trade only profitably. In general, when you start to grasp the concept that the choice of a trade is much more important than the frequency of trading, you understand, right? You will be on the path to focusing on consistently winning setups in your trading arsenal. Friends, when we see that long shadows are forming both above and below, we need to stop opening contracts. Because the market is in a state of uncertainty. Due to this, it becomes difficult to understand where it might go. Let's probably change the asset now because something strange is happening here too. Let's continue with other currency pairs. So here we have a fairly clear picture, an obvious upward trend that also ended in consolidation, where the price is trying to determine its direction. I will open. Now in short, look, there was a fairly confident trend, and with a strong decline, you can open from the support level, but not now. Here we have a strong downward slope in the price, as if the price is being pushed down. It's as if large market players are simply pushing it down, which makes it easy to understand that we will also start a correction now. And now the candles seem to be approaching this next spot, from which the correction will proceed, as I say. The trend will go down more strongly, as each subsequent low becomes more inconvenient. Yes, perhaps this is a reversal, by the way. In general, to get on the path of ensuring consistency, you must start with a clear and defined trading plan in which you must be detailed, in which all aspects of your trading business, your trading day, must be described in detail. Differently, all elements are included here, such as your trading settings, including the entry and management process of these indicators. You should also specify which markets, which assets you will trade, and also indicate the preferred timeframes for trading. By the way, you can continue here. Trades are opened for a decrease. The market has already entered the position, a decline. And for probably 3-4 minutes, there will indeed be a decrease. Therefore, by volume, you can determine by the size of the candle, which almost covered the previous one. This is good for us. Let's try. In addition to everything, a well-written trading plan should include your main goals in trading, including short-term trading goals, which are also very important. There are many details that need to be included in a trading plan. So, what do we have here? It should serve as a guide for your trading business as a whole. And although it is impossible to account for all known and unknown situations that may arise in the market, traders should try to consider as many of these variables as possible, of course, to achieve the greatest success. This will make a big difference in ensuring that you become more profitable, in other words. This is also because planning and executing your plan will help you avoid losing trades. Instead, you will have a set of clearly defined rules to follow, which were planned in advance. Another trade in profit. There's another profit, and now you need to closely monitor what will happen with the price. It's actually dangerous to enter, considering that it almost approached the previous low, from which it might bounce back even a little. But I'll enter the market anyway. I'm already tired of trading today, friends. There is potential for a decline. It's noticeable that the candles are not very voluminous. I hope the low will be updated. As I said, there is potential. Okay. Look, create a short checklist for yourself. Trade execution. After all, it goes hand in hand with a well-prepared trading plan. Think of the trading plan as the big picture related to your trading business, and think of the trade execution checklist as a more detailed process of executing certain details of your trading plan. This list should be as simple as possible to avoid misunderstandings in its genre. Essentially, it should describe in detail every step you need to take and considerations you need to make carefully before setting up a trade beforehand. For opening a trade. This is extremely important because although we like to think we know what needs to be done to enter a trade, in many cases we miss this very moment. Another trade is in the plus, and it's great, friends. $96 in the balance. I already remember that we started with $1. There was a bullish trend earlier. As I said, it was very strong, so we can rely on the support zone. At this moment, opening here already in long on the correction. Look, from this level, it's not difficult to find it yourself. You understand visually everything is basically obvious, although it doesn't always work out. That's it. That's it. And here, all the nuances accumulate volumes that will simply hinder the red candles from overcoming it all at once. At least as my experience and practice show, that's how it happens. After such long trends, long declines, corrections, I always check all the key levels along the way, and as you can see, this yields certain results. Now the correction is starting, 10 seconds remain until the deal is closed, but I hope that this attempt to accelerate will be successful. In general, be sure to also track the volume of candles and sentiment and key levels. More analysis, execute all trades, even the most complex ones. You can start on a demo account. In general, when you have a clear trading plan and a checklist from the trade plan, life becomes easier for you. You must learn to execute them based on the rules you have set out. With as few fluctuations as possible, with as few emotions as possible, just as I am doing now, okay, I will continue to trade along with the decline, because it is actually very strong. And no matter how powerful the support and pressure zones are, it seems the trend will break through them. This is clear from the size of the candles. If you start to carefully select the trades you will make and those you will avoid, then inevitably you will miss some potential opportunities. More importantly, by randomly taking only a percentage of the setups required based on your trading rules from your trading plan, you actually create inconsistency in your trading program, which definitely harms success. And by creating such inconsistency, you will not be able to effectively track productivity of your overall trading strategy. Therefore, it is extremely important that you use all the trading setups provided by you in your trading strategy. Great, the trade is in profit, not a bad level of closure. Let's probably move to another place to show you something else related to candlestick analysis. Let's go. Look, here you can work on the growth phase with a contract for a decline, with very close attention to detail. What are we going to do now? Is the size of the red candle, after which there was consolidation, enough for me to determine that the resistance zone can be trusted and to work from it? Now, let's make one trade. There. We all know that some trades are much easier to execute compared to others. But, as many successful traders have learned, you never know which of your setups will ultimately work and which won't. That's quite a collapse, friends. Therefore, you must become stable and consistent in following your trading plan and adhering to your trading setups. Even those where you find it difficult to pull the trigger, that is, to decide to open a position. Just record all the information about your trades in a journal. If there is one step in the entire trading process that bypasses a large number of traders, more than anything else, it would be the task of regularly maintaining a trading journal. This is very important. My balance is already $631. And I think that's a pretty good result. Let's change the asset. Let's go. Undoubtedly, friends, what is true regarding trading in financial markets is that if you do not spend time on recording the details of each of your trades in a journal, as well as your thought process during trading, you simply will not be able to improve your results over time. Never. Accountability is needed. Here I am holding a contract down as we have a very strong decline. I opened at the right time, by the way, specifically during the correction phase. In general, by studying all the data about your trades and your state during the execution process, you can help isolate those problem areas that you need to work on. At that time, you will begin to understand what your strengths are in the workflow and how you can improve. That's important too, right? You need to work not only on your weaknesses, but also on your strengths. In general, creating a trading journal should not be a difficult task for you, but this task should be a priority. Then you will be able to evaluate your work more qualitatively and quantitatively. You can do this with a variety of tools. A mental process on a sheet of paper or in a Word document. No problem. So, friends, $1168. I'm starting to feel better, honestly. Is there some belief that I will finish today's acceleration? I will finish it after all. Let's return to this pair after some time. No, friends, the markets are behaving very strangely today. So I switched the currency pair to euro to British pound. Here we have a fairly volatile market, but I will still open a position for a decrease from the upper level because there is a strong reaction when the price touches this area. Right here, 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 and here. We also have two previous candles with long wicks and small bodies. Right here and here, yes. All of this suggests that the price has not yet decided and will continue to move within this channel for some time. Let's continue today's topic, which is quite complex and it turned out to be. Look, in the end, you will want to become more organized with your task of keeping a trading journal. But more importantly, we must believe in it and start doing it right away. Establish a daily routine for your trading. This is one of the best things you can do to achieve consistency in trading. There is something in the daily repetition of positive habits that is truly valuable. This is not just a matter of opinion. It is a well-documented fact that has been suggested by many psychologists. Great, the trade is in profit. So what else can I say? Simply performing tasks on a regular basis can also positively affect our psychological state. Once we build our daily routine around our trading, we feel more comfortable. Overall, the process becomes more organized. Everything becomes much easier to do. All thought processes align more smoothly, and decisions are made more quickly. I enter considering that, look, we have a support level that has a significant zone. As I mentioned earlier, this happens because the trend is gaining very active positions and volumes. So here we enter with you on the upward rebounds. An example of a daily routine could be the following. Wake up at 7 a.m., shower, shave, have breakfast. By 8 o'clock, we are ready. That's it. You can finish this with a 15-minute meditation session if you feel comfortable. That is, just get to trading by 8:45, at least like this. Check the overnight market activity, track all levels. Also watch the opening of the New York Stock Exchange at 9:30. Review all the stocks in your list by a certain time. And let's say between 10 and 11 o'clock. Look for a potential rejection to enter one of several trades that you have set aside for yourself. Of course, a big growth. All right, let's work through it once more. That's it. I'll just trade as I feel, as my experience tells me right now. An interesting trading session is unfolding. Friends, you know, the win rate is only half of the equation. To achieve profit in the market, You must have a consistent trading strategy. A consistent trading method does not mean that every trade will be profitable. Not at all. In fact, many profitable trading strategies have a winning percentage of less than 50%. You take less than 50%. This seems a bit confusing. For some beginners, that is, how can we earn like this? These traders often believe that the only way to make money in the markets is to use a strategy with a high winning percentage. Trades. One, that yields more profitable trades than losing ones. Sometimes it reaches truly incredible levels, 90, 95%. But these traders do not understand that the win percentage is just one aspect of the profitability equation. Another component that, great, the trade is in profit. Another component that is often overlooked, out of sight. Look, in particular, the higher the reward for risk in a trade, the lower your win percentage can be to achieve profitability. Conversely, the smaller the reward for risk in a trade, the higher your win percentage must be. This is an important distinction that all traders should know. Friends, few people remember this. Depending on your own psychological contribution, you might prefer a trading strategy that offers a higher, say, win percentage, but a lower average profit to average loss ratio. That would be risky. That's what I'm getting at. On the other hand, you might be interested in strategies that offer a lower profit percentage, but have a higher average profit to average loss ratio. What I mainly use is the foundation for my trading sessions in the marathon. And further, you need to decide which methodology is more appealing to you and implement it accordingly in your trading program. Just understand that your main job is to contain risks. It's important to understand that there is very little we can control in the market. What can we control? It's how we react to market events and how much risk we can distribute it for each specific transaction. Allocate to each specific trade. Thus, even with a trading strategy that has a significant advantage, we can still suffer from events related to the appearance of a black swan, which can permanently destroy our trading account. Thus, as traders, we must realize that our primary role in the market is that of risk management. Let's move on to the last currency pair for today and wrap up the trading session. Let's go. Friends, who knows? Who knows? Maybe I'm already getting into some kind of excitement. This, I say, is my countless attempt to accelerate. I am already incredibly tired. But you see, $9,098 in the balance. In mine. And Australian dollar, Canadian dollar. I will open with $3,000, I think. A contract for a decrease. The market has not been able to break through this pressure zone for quite a while. And in the long term, it is already consolidating. So come what may, even if I close at a loss now, I will still have about $6,000 left. Let me explain once more. Look. Here is a moment with very small bodies and shadows. This suggests that in the near future, the market will simply burst and move in one direction or another. I suspect it will move downwards. I hope this happens right now. There is certainly a catastrophic mood in the market today. Even a small impulse will be enough for me. Friends? Well, okay, let's just sit quietly for 30 seconds. It's interesting to see how all this will end. I understand that today's episode was conducted, let's say, in a complex manner. To sum up, just control and analyze your actions in the market more to achieve the desired success. There's no other secret, friends. Trading, it's like, okay, if we just take an example. Trading is as much a routine job as it was difficult to listen to my episode today. For many, well, yes. $11,600, $18. Wonderful. I've probably been at the computer for about 8 hours. Friends, this is an excellent result. From $1. Finished for today. Let's just wrap it up and I'll go rest. Friends, I feel just like a squeezed lemon, to be honest. So I don't recommend to anyone using a trading strategy based on fully accelerating the deposit. This can completely lead you to zero out, firstly, your trading balance, and secondly, to emotional exhaustion, like I am experiencing now. Despite the fact that I usually control my emotions quite well, with 6 years of experience, There are days when all I want to do is close the laptop and just leave the room, go do something else. If you watch this episode to the end, I say a huge thank you to you. This is actually an enormous profit. You can't even imagine. From $1, more than 11,000. Just code. In general, guys, more. Analyze away, conduct backtesting, work on yourself, on your own life. It's your life. No one will work on it for you. There is no secret to success, only work, endless effort, and aspiration. Towards something better, I sincerely wish you all the best, more success, more profit. May luck walk with you in step, peace above your head. See you soon in my upcoming releases. Friends, see you soon. Goodbye to all.